So I'm going to do just a quick recap. So when I call police, I'm going to say I need to report people who are impersonating law enforcement, basically. I'll just put it like that. And I'll say they're impersonating law enforcement, not necessarily police officers. Like, they're not wearing uniforms, flashing badges, putting a bubble on their car, pulling people over, and then let dispatch and or the just let them probe into it further, and then if they decide they want to after I say my spiel about how they claim to work for Bernie Sanders and Sarah George, and when they actually work for Outreach and Weinberger and Judge Hoare, and say that they're doing it, if they ask me for, what's motivating these people to do this? If they don't know you, why are they, what's the purpose of sending these people impersonating undercover detectives? Why would they do that to you? Because South Burlington police officer Mike Goslin implicated Outreach in a criminal. I was sent to police by Economic Services Division to report somebody going online, pretended to be me, and got Vermont Medicaid in my name, forged my signature, lied on the application, and Safe Harbor Community Health Centers of Burlington cooked up 2 sets of medical records in my name when I'm not their patient. They have no signed consent to treat, and Officer Goslin basically accused Safe Harbor of doing that. Well, Safe Harbor is partnered with Howard Center. Paul Dragon is CVOEO and Vermont Human Services Agency, and he's affiliated with every single one of these organizations. They all work for him, ultimately. We saw that at the Miller Center, Justice Center, CARES, whoever. So that's basically what I will, what that does is it makes all their crime. I'm not saying I'm the victim of a crime. I'm saying when I'm accusing you idiotic ICE agents of impersonating law enforcement on behalf of Outreach, and I will repost a link to that audio recording of Mike Goslin, South Burlington Police Officer Mike Goslin, as much as saying the only people who could have done it had to be Safe Harbor. It was COVID. It was the very beginning of COVID. Everything was shut down. No clinics were open. They weren't seeing current patients. They weren't seeing new patients. Shit, they wouldn't even let cancer patients get their treatment. But they cooked up 2 sets of medical records saying that they were seeing me as a new patient for blood pressure medication that they didn't need to see me for. They could call that in, because if you don't get it, you die. So basically, for you idiotic ICE agents, what that means is you're committing crimes. It keeps all the crimes against the state of Vermont, which means it's not Outreach's jurisdiction. There's no reason for any police. So what that means is if police do refer me to Outreach, they want you Outreach motherfuckers bad. Because if Outreach calls me and I call them back, because since this phone doesn't ring or that app doesn't ring or whatever you want to call it, I'm just going to say I have people impersonating law enforcement on behalf of Outreach, and it's related to a South Burlington police investigation where Mike Goslin said that Outreach stole my identity in an online application for Vermont Medicaid, and we know that I know that Safe Harbor cooked up 2 sets of medical records when I'm not their patient because I got a call from gastroenterology telling me that they were calling to make an appointment because they got a referral from Safe Harbor, and I immediately called them, said I'm not Safe Harbor's patient, and then I called Safe Harbor, aka Community Health Centers of Burlington, and I said I want to see those medical records that you have in my name when I'm not your motherfucking patient. What the fuck are you doing making medical records and referring to gastroenterology when I'm not your patient and none of your doctors examined me? Oh, a doctor came in the room and threatened me and lied to me, but there was no minimum of a 45-minute new patient exam is what it's supposed to be. Their own security footage is going to show she wasn't in that room 5 minutes. So for all you boneheaded ICE agents who think that it's going to be between me and you, no. The way I'm going to report this to police, whether it's dispatch, maybe they have an officer call me back, or whether the officer just refers me to outreach, which outreach, all you motherfuckers at outreach better be real motherfucking scared if they do that. Because I'm going to keep it real motherfucking simple. I'm going to say, if they referred me to you, it means you're under investigation, which we already knew that because Officer Goslin accused you all of stealing my identity and cooking up 2 sets of medical records in my name when I'm not your patient. And I don't know, it's a crapshoot as to who calls you from outreach. It may be somebody from Howard Center, it may be somebody from Justice Center, it may be some from Safe Harbor. Doesn't matter. They're all one big network. They all work under Paul Dragon, and he's definitely, he confessed at Miller Center. All of them confessed to falsifying medical records, to deny me cancer treatment, to blame it on my father, and tried to act like they were being forced to do that. Motherfucker, you're an oversight official. All you cocksuckers are sticking together. There's hundreds of you. There's only one Virginia Piper. There's only one Muriel Weinberger. You frat boys and sorority girls are sticking together. You're part of it. Doctors, nurses, social workers, EMTs, paramedics, whatever. So, shit's about to get real motherfucking real. That means I'm not claiming to be a domestic violence or I'm leaving all of that out. What that does, the way I'm making the accusations, is police have to probe further. And if they refer me to outreach, and I tell outreach the same thing I tell the officer and the dispatch and or officer, if they bother to have if the officer even bothers to call, and then I don't know what they're going to do. But either way, it's going to be real bad for outreach when I say, no, I'm not going to meet with you. There's nothing to discuss. Officer Mike Goslin accused you of identity theft and cooking up falsified medical records when I'm not your patient. So that's crimes against the state of Vermont. So when you're coming here and stalking me and I don't even motherfucking know you, and you're watching my social media and I don't even know your fucking names, except for what I've been told from your fellow people who snitched you out on purpose or accidentally, or you snitched yourselves out, or my victims advocates let me know. When you're in my face, you're committing crimes against the state of Vermont. That escalates it to a whole different motherfucking level of crime. That's why Piper got nervous and had this little fucking old heifer. I've seen her before on the buses usually. But today she actually got more aggressive and tried to strike up a conversation. And I ignored her. And she made sure she came out of the library about just right before me, and then stood there waiting, just kind of looking around like, oh, where do I go? What do I do? Waiting to see which way I went. Like a fucking idiot. You're all fucking idiots. Every fucking one of you are fucking idiots. But anyway, me limiting what I report to dispatch and or an officer, if an officer gets involved, and outreach, if they kick it over to outreach, escalates it to a whole different, means you're committing crimes against that police department. You're committing crimes against Essex PD because you're lying to police. You're committing crimes against the state of Vermont. And yeah, they're gonna do something a whole lot quicker. They may not do it right away, but it's gonna command a much more aggressive, faster response. Oh, I'm being stopped. Oh, it's human trafficking. Well, fuck, that takes forever. They have to investigate based on what I accuse you of. When I'm accusing you of impersonating police, they're going to get me deposed a whole lot quicker. I don't know how many of these, and if I say they work for, that you motherfuckers are impersonating police on behalf of outreach, they may not need to refer me to outreach. That will give them probable cause to question everybody at Howard Center, everybody at Safe Harbor, everybody at CBOEO, Justice Center, everywhere. It gives them a broad brush to climb up all your motherfucking asses, which they already are. They already know what's going on, but they take action based on what I report when I call first responders. And that's what I'm basically going to be accusing you of committing crimes against the police department and against the state of Vermont. Not me personally. Even though you did, get in my face and try to get me in your car, but all that at this point is speculative. That's all circumstantial. The immediate crime, when you're in my face in McDonald's, at Domino's, at the library, on